Day 2 is coming to a close in Qatar 2 weeks today, and we will begin free practice 1 for a brand new season. And despite his dominance on this circuit, the first man out earlier today was Jorge Lorenzo. He's looking for win number 7 under the night lights in a couple of weeks' time, but he is an eager beaver as he headed out to try everything possible to make sure that both he and his Ducati are working ahead of the first round coming up very, very soon. We are here live in the MotoGP headquarters in Barcelona to bring you After the Flag, Day 2, live from Qatar. Half an hour still to go, so we'll update you with, of course, everything that goes on from Qatar in just a moment. Steve Day here, and, well, I am actually here for once. I can just, I'm very pleased to announce that. And, of course, Matt Burt alongside me. Tell you what, Matt, Jorge Lorenzo's keen.
Yeah, very keen. It was, of course, a real tough test for him, wasn't it, in Thailand 2 weeks ago, Steve? A lot for him to try. I think a combination of a 2017, 2018 chassis for him to work on this week, so he was keen to get out on the circuit. Slight rain interruption a little bit earlier on, didn't disrupt proceedings too much, but yeah, Jorge was, he was keen to get out there. And
a couple of weeks to go, Matt. It's starting to get a bit exciting now, isn't it?
Yeah, the winter at this stage feels like it's been quite long, doesn't it? Yeah, we're all itching to get out there, start the season. 2 weeks until practice starts in Qatar in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, we can't wait to jump on the plane to Doha.
Well, that was the image of the day then. Jorge Lorenzo heading out on circuit, bright as a button as soon as the green flag was waved. But the big news of the day came just after last night's show closed, and it involved a certain Valentino Rossi. There is plenty to discuss here. Feast your eyes on the words here of Valentino Rossi.
Sì, la situazione è abbastanza chiara, nel senso che intanto non mi aspettavo che Poncharal lasciasse la Yamaha e diciamo che ci abbiamo pensato, era una cosa anche bella, ma non ce la facciamo, e quindi per i prossimi 2 anni non faremo il team della MotoGP con la Yamaha, anche perché molto probabilmente correrò io, quindi potrebbe essere una cosa per il futuro quando smetto, ma non nel 19-20.
Wow, well, there you go. I expect the news that so many people were hoping for. He's not signed the contract right in front of our eyes, Matt, but he's as good as saying that he's going to be racing on for another couple of years, which is great news for Rossi fans, great news from a neutral perspective for us in the commentary box. But the whole Tech 3 thing, it really has thrown a curveball at everything, hasn't it?
Yeah, the Tech 3 announcement last week, Steve, that they will be ending their 20-year association with Yamaha, a real bombshell on the eve of this 2018 World Championship campaign. Inevitably, that sparked rumours that potentially Valentino Rossi would try and run his own MotoGP team. Yamaha are now looking for a replacement for Tech 3, which is not going to be an easy challenge. But Valentino, pretty clear on that video there, ruling that out. His desire, his intention, that's been the vibe we had in Malaysia and in Thailand as well, that he is determined to carry on, extend his already illustrious career for at least another 2 years into 2019, 2020. As you say, Steve, fantastic news for fans all around the world. We could hear last night the champagne corks popping from promoters all over the world. With Valentino Rossi still riding, it's going to be fantastic. What do Yamaha do now? They have obviously got 2 good bikes available for 2019 and 2020, but it's quite clear, Valentino said, he did look at it, he did say that they probably had a little bit of a consideration. Everybody caught surprised by Hervé Poncharal's decision, though, to split with Tech 3, but it looks like it all points to Valentino signing a new 2-year contract, which will be fantastic for the sport in general.
Of course, Tech 3, we're going to talk a little more about Zarco later, but it does beg the question about what happens now with Zarco, with Hervé Poncharal, where he goes. Of course, all the whispers, as we've heard, and you spoke to Simon yesterday about it on air, about KTM. It's sounding like that's the way they're going to go.
It does, yeah. I mean, reading the press release that Yamaha put out about the Tech 3 split, it was quite clear that Hervé Poncharal said, we had an offer that we simply could not turn down. And to me, that means they're aligning, of course, with the new factory. They are splitting from Yamaha, but it seems that whoever they are aligning with, the big rumour, as you rightly point out, Steve, is KTM. They are going to have full factory support. It's going to be a full factory effort. So Hervé Poncharal, an offer on the table that they couldn't turn down. I'm led to believe that an announcement is quite imminent about what Tech 3 are going to be doing next year. It does, as you say, raise all kinds of questions. This man we're looking at on screens right now, Johann Zarco, what will he do? I mean, if it is a factory KTM team for Tech 3, will that convince him maybe to stay in Tech 3? A team that he loves, a team that he knows very well, an opportunity to continue his relationship with Guy Coulon. We know that's a very special collaboration. Or will any collaboration between Tech 3 and KTM mean that as part of a sweetener of that deal, Zarco is moving to the Red Bull KTM team, and Hervé Poncharal, as he is with Yamaha, is being badged as a junior team, and then he can bring in the likes of Miguel Oliveira, possibly with Hafiz Syrin. There are so many different permutations and options. The first thing, of course, we need to find out is whether it is going to be Tech 3 KTM next year. It does look like that's going to be the case. All being well, fingers crossed, we actually will have a live and exclusive interview with Tech 3 Yamaha team boss Hervé Poncharal on After the Flag tomorrow night. So watch this space.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a great catch if we can get Hervé in. We have some social media questions that are going to be coming in throughout the show, just a couple to bring you. And one was actually about the man that we've just been seeing on your screen there, about Johann Zarco, and hopefully we're answering the best we can in terms of what his future is. We're talking about KTM, maybe involvement with Red Bull. There's the question: if Valentino renews his contract, what can Yamaha do to keep Zarco? Offer him a factory machinery like Crutchlow and Petrucci? It's not going to happen. And this is something that I was then about to ask you, Matt. What do Yamaha think about this? Of course, they're delighted to keep hold of the Dr. Valentino Rossi. Who wouldn't be? That was their priority. But they are losing a star here in Johann Zarco.
Yeah, I mean, reading between the lines, that statement that came out from Yamaha, they were as shocked as anybody that Tech 3 are going to do the split. Where does it leave Johann Zarco? I don't think there's any future for him at all at Yamaha. I don't see how he would want to ride for another team on a Yamaha that wasn't Tech 3. It just doesn't make sense to me. He's a French rider. He wants to be in a French team. He's adored by that team. So I don't think there's anything that Yamaha can do to convince him to stay. I think the only way he was going to be on a Yamaha next year was if Tech 3 stayed and they could offer him a full factory contract, like you say, like Danilo Petrucci did with Ducati, like Cal Crutchlow's got this year with HRC. I just cannot see any way that he's going to be kept on board a Yamaha next year. There's so many rumours about him, of course, going to the KTM team. I mean, the question was if Valentino renews his contract. We're looking at Valentino in action today in Qatar. It's not if, it's when. You know, that announcement's going to be coming very, very imminently. Valentino dropping big hints yesterday that he signed that 2-year contract. So I can't see a way that they can keep Zarco. You make a great point, Steve. This is a bit of a roll of the dice from Yamaha. You know, Valentino can still deliver results even at the age of 39, but it's his commercial value as well. What he brings to Yamaha in terms of his commercial value away from the sport is immeasurable. It is absolutely huge. And while he's still delivering on the circuit as well, why would they want to cut him free if he wants to stay? But Valentino wanting to stay means that, you know, Johann Zarco, it's kind of pushed out in the cold. So they are taking a gamble by effectively letting Zarco go to another manufacturer, and it does look like that will be KTM. There's so many fascinating subplots to this story. It's really intriguing.
It is intriguing. It's absolutely mouth-watering, and it is the biggest news of the day, unquestionably. We'll be talking about this, of course, when we bring you Free Practice 1 in a couple of weeks' time. But, well, we're talking about Valentino Rossi and what's going on and the fact that it looks like he might stay for a couple of years. We might as well now get an opinion of former rider who's down in pit lane, live in Qatar. He did a sterling job with Matt here yesterday and After the Flag. So it's a very good evening to Simon Crafar. Thanks for joining us, Simon. What do you make of all of this news about Valentino Rossi? It was, I suppose, in a way we were expecting it, but that happened just after the show closed last night. Big, big news from your end of the world.
Yeah, it's when you say what do I make of it, like first thoughts are I'm super happy Veli's here. Like I've always said, I love having Veli. We all love having Veli in the paddock, in the sport. He's good for the sport. Then when I think further into it, I like being devil's advocate and throw little things out there. Like there is no guarantee that Veli will ride those whole 2 years, you know, and I think it's really sad, Yamaha, well, crazy that Yamaha have lost the opportunity to keep Zarco, you know, that's what it looks like at the moment, and I think he would have been the perfect, you know, the other guy at the other side of the garage to Vinales, and imagine if Veli does 1 year and goes, you know, this is horrible, I'm not enjoying it anymore, you know, I'm hanging up my helmet, which he can afford to, he can do, you know. I like to be devil's advocate, you know, I'm not trying to be negative. It's, imagine that, and then Zarco's headed off to another manufacturer. I'm surprised Yamaha leave themselves open for that. They must have other plans. Then I'd like to also throw in, you know, I did last night, the most obvious thing would be for Tech 3 and KTM to try Zarco or KTM to try and keep him, whether he's in Tech 3 with his French team or in the KTM factory team with some of his French team over there. Either way, that would be what I would do KTM, but we've also got to consider Suzuki, how much they must want him as well, you know. There must be other, I mean, that to me is the other obvious one that would be putting a piece of paper on Zarco's table saying, you know. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that one.
Matt, I think you want to ask the next question, so over to you.
Yeah, Simon, I was just curious. I mean, obviously, Tech 3 splitting with Yamaha after 20 years, it does leave two very good motorcycles on the grid vacant for 2009.